Muy buenas tardes. Criptofondo, representante oficial de la alianza MCC, conformada por MadeSafe Coin Payments y el Fondo de Inversión de Capital Privado en Divisas Digitales CCP 100, les da la más cordial bienvenida a este seminario avanzado de criptodivisas y estrategias de inversión. Por favor, recibamos con un fuerte aplauso al señor Alex VK, director de Marketing Internacional, que nos va a dar una pequeña introducción.
Good afternoon, everyone. Fantastic to see everybody here. I'm not sure who saw the video from me in Hong Kong, but time travels so fast. I'm so happy to be here. I actually want to start with a question, and these questions only work out if people answer them. So don't just sit there and wait for the person next to you, okay? So I'm curious, why are you here? I want somebody to put up their hand, actually be a few people, and tell me why you're here today. So I didn't pay anybody to answer that question, so somebody really has to put up their hand. Don't make me pick. Come on, perfect. Why are you here?
I'm here because I got invited for somebody who's interested in the future
Yeah?
to invest their money.
Okay. Money, one reason. More. Thank you. He gets a prize. More. Come on. Easy. Why are people here? Why are you here? I'm curious what people know and why they're here. Yes? To learn something new. Okay. Thank you again. So two prizes. Basically, I would challenge everybody here in this room today. I would assume that everybody's here for one reason, and that's freedom. Now, this is not some Braveheart kind of freedom. This is the freedom to live our lives the way we want to. So my job as Global Marketing Director for MCC. What is MCC? MCC is 3 companies. So you probably know a little bit about each 3, but not necessarily too much. So I think it makes sense to start off by just quickly discussing what they are. So you have MadeSafe. Another easy question here, probably more comfortable because you don't have to put your hand up. Who believes that the internet today is safe? Okay. Who believes that it's secure? Hands up. Okay, see, this is an easier way of answering questions, right? Who believes that the internet is private? Did I just ask that? No, private. No, none of the 3. So we have gentlemen in Scotland who have spent 10 years designing the internet the way they believe it was meant to be, and the internet that we deserve. I was on the plane flying here, and I was reading in, I think, the New York Times. I mean, I'm not American, I'm Canadian, but the Republicans are planning on repealing a law or changing the laws so that internet providers can sell our information. So think about it, the last kind of huge technological advancement, the telephone. When we're on the phone, we expect that conversation that we have with somebody is private. And the company that we pay for that service, they don't have the right to take that information and to sell it. So why is it that when you go on the internet and you're searching something, why does the company that you're paying to provide you that service have the right now to take that information and sell it, right? Or use that in any way they want? So that's the first point I want to make in terms of MadeSafe. And I'm not going to get into the technology today, but I think the technology comes down to freedom. Second point, coin payments. So you'll hear about coin payments in great detail today, but I would also argue that one of the big reasons that coin payments exist is to provide us with, again, freedom. The freedom to transact the way we want to. Again, why is it that we're limited in terms of what we can buy and how we can buy? And more we're seeing technology changing that. You can use Bitcoin, you can use cryptocurrency in new ways to buy things, to transact, to exchange with one another. So again, coin payments is trying to give us our freedom, maybe back or change the way freedom looks. And the final company, CCP, again, what is it about? It's about freedom. So I would guess that most people in this room right now are interested in cryptocurrency, and we all have our reasons for those. But again, I think it's about we want to be able to transact, to send money privately and securely. And so what CCP has done is created an opportunity for us to use that Bitcoin, that cryptocurrency, in a new way, to invest. And again, all of these 3 companies, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is one word: freedom. So that is what MCC is about. It's about pushing forward with technology and giving us the technology and opportunities to live life the way we want to, and kind of saying goodbye to the old and looking forward. And all of these technologies are groundbreaking. All of these are new. So everybody in this room today, I challenge you guys all to stay present. Listening, sometimes with all these features and technology can kind of get a little bit hazy, but it's actually not that complicated. So thank you again for coming today. Hope everybody learns something and sees some potential in what we're about to talk to you about. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Alex, President and Founder of Coin Payments.
See if this works. Perfect. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here in Mexico City. It's my first time here. It's actually a pretty wonderful place. I totally had different expectation of the city when I come here. I really fell in love with it. It's amazing, and I'm probably going to be back here again. To start this presentation off, thanks, Alex, for opening and all the wonderful words about Coin Payments. I appreciate it. Okay, so Coin Payments. It's a company that got started in 2013, and it's based in Canada, Vancouver. That's where we were founded from. I started together with Sina, who's sitting here as well. You're also going to hear from him today, and we're going to explain in detail what this company is all about. And you know, the whole beginning of this company, it was coded and created on the Bitcoin Talk forum, and then we saw the potential of what it was given and where the direction it was needed to go, and we've offered to buy it from the guys who originally created the code. And we're happy to say now, after that purchase, we've hired them back on as part of our team. So we're really happy to have the original founders with the company together at this time. And we kind of expanding it globally. And as of today, we have 160,000 customers around 210 countries in the world. And in about 2015, we did a crowdfund for this company. And we're happy to say that, you know, at that time, we only had 17,000 processing vendors. And now we've gotten to 160,000. So we had an amazing few years of growth. And a lot of it had to do with revolution of Bitcoin. And I'm sure a lot of you want to hear about it, and kind of, this is a lot of, I want you guys to ask questions in the end. If you do, I'll be around. So if I have something I don't cover on stage, there's sometimes I forget, or if you're curious and you want to know more, please find me out there. So Coin Payments is was the first on the planet multi-cryptocurrency payment processor. And what that means is Bitcoin's been around since 2009, but there's never been a payment processor that accepts all the other cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Dashcoin, Ethereum, and all the other popular coins that are on the planet now that people are also transacting in. So there was definitely a niche that needed to be filled, and in the spirit of cryptocurrency, which I believe is freedom, like Alex said, you know, it allows people to create their own money that's independent from banks, from any institutions, from governments, and everything else that controls our current money supply. Bitcoin started, and at first, a lot of people didn't believe that a project like that could work because it's not backed by the military, it's not backed by the financial institutions. And yet, here we are today, Bitcoin market cap is $20 billion US. Right, so this coin has not just proven that it's possible, it has very much become an alternative banking system for financial transactions or just keeping your wealth. But there's also all these other cryptocurrencies that have come in the way of Bitcoin that sort of followed behind. And a lot of them, you know, have been ignored by the mainstream that's formed in this industry, which would be my competitors in the space. And we thought that that was a big problem, because if you think about Bitcoin and you realize that it's people-driven, it's open, and it's accepting to everyone, then why are the new companies that are servicing these cryptocurrencies ignoring all the other ones? Shouldn't it be that, you know, if somebody's actually wanted to transact in it and buy it, shouldn't that be just enough threshold for a payment processor to start using it? So that's what we started doing in 2013. So our company innovated quite a few things to create a system that people actually trust over the years. Well, like I said, when we first started, it was just a team of 3 people, and we didn't have a lot of funding. It was just basically like a hobby project, and we were building it step by step. And as the market evolved, as the cryptocurrencies evolved, there was a lot of things and a lot of bad and good lessons that were learned along those years. Some of them, if you think about exchanges that were hacked, there was a lot of thefts and things like that in Bitcoin space in previous years. And that taught us a lot about security and what to look for, what to improve, what to build. So what we've done, and we were actually one of the first people to do it for cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin space, is create multi-signature offline storage. And I know it's a super complicated thing to comprehend, but the way to describe it is a safe. So imagine a safe, and it has 2 keyholes, right? And then I give 3 keys away to my employees. So each employee has 1 key. In order to open that safe, 2 of them have to come together and turn the key together. So essentially forbidding one of them to run away with the money because his key alone is not enough to actually do the transaction. So that's called multi-signature. So this way, if a hacker gets into your system and compromises your computer, he can't actually withdraw any money because he needs a secondary key that's on the separate machine. So we came up with this process to create a multi-signature protection services for all the funds that are sitting on our system for all the cryptocurrencies that people store on our wallets. Beyond that, we thought, well, blockchain is a bit slow at times, right? So I don't know if you ever, has anyone here transacted in Bitcoin before? Show your hands, anyone? Anyone send, receive Bitcoin ever? Yeah, I know you guys did. Wow, okay, so I'll slow down on what I'm explaining. Go back a little bit to the basics. So with Bitcoin, it's a digital currency, but it also has decentralized blockchain. Blockchain essentially is a ledger or a record of all the transactions that is kept on user machines. And because so many users around the world keep the copy of the same ledger, nobody can cheat. Because basically each user verifies its own transaction with its other user transaction record. And that allows a decentralized coin to essentially be proven that all the transactions are legitimate. So that way nobody can copy their Bitcoin or fake a transaction or double spend their money. It's a pretty sophisticated system. It's quite amazing. And if you're just entering Bitcoin space, I think the more you learn about it, you're going to be overwhelmed at first, but then it will become very natural and make a lot of sense. Just like when you first used the computer, I'm sure it was not intuitive at all. I know I can tell you honestly right now, my mom transacts in Bitcoin, so if I could convince her and explain it to her, I'm sure everyone can figure this out. Another thing that has to do with coin payments, another thing that contributed to a lot of our growth was we figured we didn't have a lot of money to spend on marketing, and we also realized that general population doesn't understand this stuff just yet, right? So they do not understand what Bitcoin is, they do not understand how to use it, how to send it, how to receive it. So we're like, how do we target people who do, and how do we go out to them? And we realized we already have some users, right? So why not get these users to invite other users and pay them? So we created an affiliate system that allows people to basically invite businesses that they know could benefit from this technology for international cross-banking and things like that, and then they start referring, and that's led to our explosive growth that we have today. So that said, anyone who has an account with coin payments, which are free, it's free to use by anybody. You have a link inside of your account through which you can email it or post on your social media or on anywhere, and anybody who signs up through that link, you get 25% of all the commissions if they become a business and use our service for 5 years. So that led to a lot of people falling in love with our system and marketing it to businesses that actually, they knew could benefit from that. And so we're allowed our users to find users for us. Because like I said, if you're in a traditional space like Visa and MasterCard, any business can benefit from that. But in Bitcoin, not always. Like, if you're a mom and pop shop on the corner, it might just slow down the line at the till when they're paying with Bitcoin. So it might not work for you just yet. But if you're an online business, it's going to be amazing for you because say you're in China, like Alex actually spends a lot of time in China. China has a problem with government locking down and firewalling the internet. So if I'm a vendor in China and I want to sell goods to North America or Russia or Australia or anywhere else in the world, I would have to come to special agreements with banking, Visa, and things like that to accept those payments. And they're probably going to charge me extraordinary fees when it's cross-banking outside of my territory. With Bitcoin, none of this exists. So essentially, if I start accepting Bitcoin, I can take a payment instantly from anywhere on the planet, pay no fees, and get money right away, and I don't have to worry about chargebacks. They don't exist. So if you understand that and what it potentially offers, it basically is revolutionary. There's nothing like that other than Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in traditional banking system. Right, so one of the other cool things that we did as we realize that more and more people are using our system and actually storing their Bitcoins and their other cryptocurrencies on our wallet systems and sending it back and forth to each other worldwide, was that Bitcoin addresses are really annoying and they're really hard to remember. I mean, there's a reason why they're so long and complicated, and so that nobody can copy it, nobody can replicate and things like that, which totally makes sense from the security standpoint, but it's still really annoying to remember. So we decided, well, since we already have 55 cryptocurrencies using our system and our wallets are ran on the server that we control, why not create an email address, or we call it pay by name, for all the wallet addresses. So essentially with coin payments, if you have a wallet with us, you can get a pay by name, which is basically your username with a dollar tag we call cash tag. So that allows you to have, mine is cash tag Alex. Actually, he could come up with that name. So with a cash tag, what happens is you send the money, like say for example, I want to send $100 in Bitcoin to Alex right now. And typically I have to call him and ask him, hey, what's your Bitcoin address or Litecoin address or any other cryptocurrency address? And he has to send it to me. I have to receive it, copy it, and then send the money to him. If, however, he creates a pay by name, he just gives me a pay by name like, $VK or something like that, and then I just save it in my address book. And now I can send money anytime, and I don't have to ask him for address again. It's something I can remember, put in my address book. And what's cool about it, you can not just send Bitcoin, you can send any cryptocurrency to that address, and our system will automatically filter it and put in the correct wallet, making it much easier for people to interact with digital currencies. Yeah, so what is digital currency, right? I've kind of covered it a little bit in the beginning, and honestly, trust me when I tell you, this evening is not going to be long enough for me to cover all of it. But in the basic, the main thing that I love about it personally is that it gives you basically power over your money back. Like, do you guys remember back in the day when you used to go rent a video from a rental store, right? Do anybody remember those times, right? Yeah. Where are those now, right? I think the same thing is going to happen to banks. And I legitimately believe in that in the next few years, banks are going to become just as obsolete as the video stores. Because you have to wait in line, you have to wait according to their hours, you have to make sure they're not on a break, you have to wait for a check to clear, you have to get a certified check, and sometimes they'll hold that, the things will bounce. It's just so annoying. All of it just doesn't make sense anymore. It's so outdated. With Bitcoin, I get it, it's mine, I have it. I don't have to ask anybody to spend it. Nobody can stop me from spending it. I don't have to ask who I can send it to, and nobody can stop that transaction from happening. So, and it's instant, it's 24 hours a day. If I want to trade it, if I'm a professional trader, like a Forex trader or stock market guys, they're all loving cryptocurrency trades right now because it's 24/7, all year round, no holidays, no breaks, none of that stuff. It's just computer running computers, right? So if you think about that, humans can't replicate, the efficiency of code and machinery running 24/7, and therefore that is what's going to replace the banks. Some might just not happen as soon as we'd like, but it will definitely happen. And the infrastructure that's being built right now around these cryptocurrencies like coin payments, BitPay, Coinbase, and all our other competitors, everybody's trying to do something unique in this market to assist, help people, use these currencies, interact with them. And one of the products we're going to discuss tonight, actually, Andrew's going to come on at some point and tell you about it. I'm going to keep that as a surprise. But everybody's trying to come up with new innovations to make it so easy and integrate with a current system, but give you the benefit and security of Bitcoin layered on top of the existing systems. Yeah, I'll let you cover that. I mentioned Bitcoin, I mentioned Litecoin, but there's actually about 700 of these coins. And a lot of them are completely worthless. Some of them are just basically people attempts to copy Bitcoin to make a quick buck, which, just like pink sheet stocks, that just go away and they never come back. Same idea applies. People are greedy. They're going to do things what they're going to do. But that said, in that 700 coins, there's about, I would say, 30 that are really, really interesting and actually offer something very innovative, unique, and very, very advanced that Bitcoin does not. So that's why they have value, and they have popularity, and they have their own niche market in digital world that has now sprung out as a result of Bitcoin. So some of these coins I'll cover quickly is Ethereum. That's made a huge splashback right now, and again, that's actually a big portion of your presentation, so I'm not going to cut into that. But so Ethereum, Litecoin, Dashcoin, Dogecoin was a big success as well. So all these coins come and go, and how do you pick them? Like, how do you decide which one to buy and which one to hold and which to make money? Now, I've been in this space since 2012. So just after Bitcoin launched 2009, I found out about it in 2012. And I was lucky enough to get into the space when the Bitcoin was about $4, right? So it seems like way far back now, because we're now trading, just a few weeks ago, we're $1,300 US per one Bitcoin. But that's great upside. But more money was made on Litecoin, and more money was made on Peercoin, and more money was made on all the other cryptocurrencies that followed. And the reason why, let's just say in time when Bitcoin went from $4 to 1,000, Litecoin went from 3 cents to $49. And if you understand math, it's astronomical gains. And you see that happen almost every 6 months in the space. Some cryptocurrency just goes from cents to $10 to $20. And millions are made overnight. And people that I know in this space and community have made a ton of money doing this. And that's why we're kind of going around and trying to tell people, look, this is not just money. This is not just a new way of transacting that's like for turbo nerds, right? It's actually a valid product that could literally change your financial life overnight, very quickly. And it's not even weird. You can look at the stats and see how it goes. So tonight at this presentation, I want to kind of conclude with the coin that I'm super interested in right now, and I'm one of the foundation members of it right now. An honorary maid of honor is what they call me. Stupid joke. Yeah, so with MadeSafe, what they're doing essentially is decentralizing the entire internet. So it's not just a coin. Bitcoin is a decentralized money. And like I said, every currency that comes about brings something cool and unique and special that's not just a copycat of Bitcoin. MadeSafe is not just a copycat of MadeSafe, of Bitcoin at all. It's an entirely new developed network. How to describe it easily? I find that people understand this better when it's less technical. So how many of you guys heard of Airbnb? Anyone by show of hands? Airbnb? Right? Okay. How many of you guys have heard of Uber? Uber? Anyone have used Uber? Okay, cool. So we understand how those services revolutionized the planet and the way we interact with, going places and staying places. But what it actually did is it allowed you to take the empty space in your house that was sitting empty and now make money from that. Or utilize your car on the time you're not using it and make money off of that. MadeSafe is doing the same thing with your computer. So essentially, your computer, if you think about it, how many people in the room have a computer? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, everybody has a computer. So how would it sound to you if I told you your computer is actually being used maybe 30% of the time? Some people who are totally addicted to video games or coders or nut jobs, they'll use it 60% of the time. But realistically, it's mostly idle. And even when you're using it, you're not utilizing even, in general, more than 10 or 20% of your CPU power at all. So why not rent that out to the network that will pay you for it? So what you're doing essentially is you're installing an app used by MadeSafe. You dedicate the portion of your hard drive, your CPU and RAM power to it, and then it pays you an actual money for it, and at the same time gives that to the network that it bootstraps from all the user machines around the world, so we don't have to use Google, Facebook, and Amazon servers who steal and sell our data to the governments and all these corporations and get hacked all the time. We can't trust them anymore, so just build our own system. So this is what MadeSafe is going to do. MadeSafe is essentially built a user-based decentralized internet that does not depend at all on servers, where the data is completely distributed between users all around the world. And I know it sounds a little crazy at first and almost incomprehensible, but it's actually super easy. When you start kind of understanding, it's almost weird that we didn't do that in the first place. If you think about it, someone in Shanghai actually asked me, they're like, well, is there enough machine space on the user machines versus what Google and Baidu has? Well, yeah, actually, this will surprise you. So in I think it was 2016, last year, in the summer, Google will announce how much data storage they have on their servers. And they announced, they said they had 8,000 petahashes, which is whatever, it's a lot of petahashes. Users, however, in 2016's worldwide have 60,000 petahashes between them that are not being used. So we have more than enough space between our machines, our phones, and everything else we're not using to have a much better, more efficient internet. Internet itself has gotten so much faster. If you understand how the torrent network, anybody, that's a weird question to ask on stage, but anyone ever interacted with a torrent file? Okay, yeah, definitely need a compliance officer on that one. But it's essentially when you're downloading a torrent, let's just say downloading a Linux or something illegal and open source, and it's a torrent file. The more people are seeding it, the faster the internet goes, right? So you're not downloading the whole file from their computers. You're downloading a little chunk, and it's coming from a lot of machines, and it accelerates your download. Well, the internet can work in the exact same way. So let's say I upload my picture onto a user network like MadeSafe. I now have to pay a fraction, like a tiny, tiny amount with a MadeSafe wallet so they can store it on the network. That money gets distributed between users that credit that money. So essentially, if you dedicate space to the network, you get those tokens, which you then can use to interact with the network. So it's a living, like, it's not an organism, obviously, but it's like a living network that self-adjusts and regulates when machines go on online and offline. And it's quite amazing. I can go on and on about MadeSafe, but you know, I'm gonna run out of time here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna play a video for you after a couple of presentations and show you more in detail about MadeSafe, and then I'll come back and, you know, maybe explain a little bit more, because I'm absolutely blown away by this, and this is the thing that I'm really excited about. And what I recommend to everyone, if you do ever decide to invest into a coin, this one's only 16 cents right now because they're launching at the end of this year, and I don't think there's anything better right now you can get. I've seen coins go from 3 cents to 50 bucks. I've never seen anything that cool before. So just with that note, I'm gonna give it to the next speaker, and thank you for your time. I'll be back on after a video. Thanks, guys.
Just want to take this opportunity to say thank you, Alex, for mentioning the cash tag portion. All rates reserved. All right. Okay. So, hello, Mexico City. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Andrew Bruff, and I am at the... Oh, testing? No. My name is Andrew Bruff, and I am here today as a marketing consultant here on behalf of Coin Payments. I want to personally thank CryptoFondo for having us here today. Oh. Thank you. I personally would like to thank CryptoFondo for having us here today. None of this would have been possible without them, so if we could just take 1 second and give them a round of applause, that would be great. Muchas gracias. Okay. I wish to go over a couple of charts that I want to show you today to just actually show you how lucrative the cryptocurrency industry is. Alex just spent a good deal of time explaining how Bitcoin and other types of cryptocurrencies are set up. But the reason why I'm here today is to show you actual tangible numbers as to why it is an actual sound investment. And furthermore, on top of that, I also wish to I'm going to also show you guys a new product that Alex almost talked about, but didn't, that we're actually launching here at this conference here today. Okay, so, but before we get into that, I would like to go over my first slide. So this first slide shows the total global volume of credit cards and debit cards, from cash withdrawals, credit cards, cash advances, and other online purchases. Okay, so the October 2016 publication of the Nielsen report found that over 31 trillion US dollars was generated from the total global volume of all credit card, debit card, and prepaid card and cash withdrawals globally. All right. The majority of all this came from, like I said before, goods and services, ATM withdrawals, and cash advances. This was a 7.3% increase from the previous year, which accounted for $29 trillion USD. Okay, so these sound like pretty good numbers, right? What is being actually brought up, 7.6% increase on the year? That's not bad. But just wait 1 second, though. But the same report also found that total global losses due to credit card and due to credit card theft and fraud actually accounted for over $22 billion in 2015, which is actually a 23% increase from the previous report that was done where total global losses was $16 billion in 2014. So, in other words, the biggest issue that we're having right now is that the percentage of increased volume per year is actually being outperformed by the percentage increase of losses that are accumulating every single year. But don't get too concerned yet. as I want to go over a few slides with you guys just to actually show you how cryptocurrency is going to change the game of money transfer and the way that we use money in the future. This first slide shows Bitcoin's total volume from August 2011 until March 2017. So if you notice in this first spike right here, in the first little valley there, this occurred on November 29th, 2013, when Bitcoin's median price hit a record price of $1,242 USD during that time, which actually accounted for an $1,100 USD increase from the median price from less than 2 months earlier on October 1st. Okay. As volume being traded began to increase going into 2014, the median price began to level out. However, as usership began to increase and more people started to buy into Bitcoins again, this allowed the median price to go back up slowly but surely. So as a result of the new usership that actually came through, on March 3rd of this year, Bitcoin actually set a new record price of $12.97 USD, which actually is the first time that any cryptocurrency in history actually surpassed the price of 1 ounce of gold. So 1 Bitcoin equals 1 ounce of gold or more, which is, in my opinion, is pretty impressive. So how did this perform against other cryptocurrencies? Well, that'll bring us to our next chart here. Okay, this chart shows the total market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies from April 2013 until March 2017. Notice the spike that happened around November 2013. Well, this obviously is pretty self-explanatory. It is as a result of the price of Bitcoin going up to its record price. All right, but this is where things actually get pretty interesting right here. Despite the price of Bitcoin dropping, if you look from the previous slide here, as it went down, the actual price or the actual total volume and market capitalization of all types of cryptocurrencies didn't go down with it. Okay, this was due to the steady demand of other types of cryptocurrencies called altcoins. So what is an altcoin? So this chart here is all the combined altcoin market capitalization from April 2013 to March of 2017. Okay, so to elaborate on the previous slide from before, an altcoin is a term that basically describes any type of cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin. Although altcoins made up a small fraction of the total market capitalization prior to November 2013, this trend changed completely after the record-setting price from November 2013 in Bitcoin's market capitalization. This occurred to many large purchases that were made from all different types of altcoins over that entire 4-year span. So as a result, the combined market cap for altcoin grew to $1.6 billion USD, or nearly 20% of the overall cryptocurrency market cap. The market continued to grow exponentially over the next 12 months, and the entire market capitalization of altcoins and the entire combined cryptocurrency rose up to $7.6 billion USD, or nearly 32% of the entire cryptocurrency market cap combined. As a big reason for this was due to a massive increase in certain types of altcoins that picked up steam over those 12 months, which actually brings me to my next slide. This slide shows the total volume and median price of Ethereum from March 2016 until March 2017. Ethereum is a relatively new altcoin, which has been purchasable over the last 2 years. However, the advanced blockchain that they utilize compared to Bitcoin has allowed the currency to surpass the competition in volume traded and in median price. In June of 2016, Ethereum's market cap reached a $1.6 billion USD after being in the market for less than 1 year, which is unprecedented for any type of altcoin out there. Even more impressive on top of that was that Ethereum's market cap actually nearly tripled over the next 10 months, reaching a market cap of $4.6 billion USD in March of 2017. The record for the median price was set at the end of March of this year, sitting at $53.30 USD per coin. So I guess what maybe must be wondering at some point is, what is the next alt currency that's going to be taking the cryptocurrency by storm, or taking the cryptocurrency world by storm? Alex touched a bit on that already earlier in his presentation, but this will be explained to you more by our following speaker coming on after me. So to finish things up, I'd like to take this time to talk about a new product that we are launching here at this conference today. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the CPS card powered by Visa. Basically what the CPS card is it is a reloadable debit card that combines the versatility of Visa and the thank you. Yeah. And this is what the card looks like in case you guys are wondering. Okay. So so it combines the versatility of Visa and the innovation of cryptocurrency to allow their customers to load up their cards with any of their favorite cryptocurrencies and then either use it for transactions or for cash withdrawals anywhere where Visa is accepted. Okay, so this is how it works. You load the card with Bitcoins, using the Bitcoin address that we provide, or for more simplicity, you can integrate it with your Coin Payments digital wallet for even faster loading times. The best part about this card is the convenience. Instead of having to sell cryptocurrency for cash, you can now take the preloaded card and shop anywhere where Visa is accepted. And if you require any cash, you can withdraw funds from any ATM that accepts Visa. Our card charges 3% on all cash withdrawals, which in terms of credit card cash withdrawals is right now the going rate. However, most credit cards charge interest from the moment of the purchase of the cash advance. This doesn't happen with a CPS card, so in other words, you end up keeping more of your own money. So I guess you guys must all be wondering, how do I go and get my card? Well, the first step is to go in on cpscard.com and purchasing the card for $19.95 USD, which also includes shipping and handling. The second step is to go and fill out an order form with your name, your address, and your basic information to receive the card at the introductory rate of $500 per transaction or a $1,000 USD load limit. However, if you wish to advance to the full limit of allowing $3,000 per transaction, and to have no limit as to how much you can load onto the card, simply log onto your CPS account after you receive the card and provide a copy of your picture identification with your address on it, just for KYC or know your client's purposes. After that, you can load the card on with funds by sending Bitcoins to your personal loading address or by integrating it with your Coin Payments wallet, as I said before, for instant loading. This will be revolutionary also for all online merchants, because instead of receiving payment and then having to transfer it at Bitcoin exchanges or from Bitcoin ATMs, you can now just go load up the card and then go to any ATM where Visa is accepted, and then basically you have your cash, thus eliminating a three-step process and making it only one. The choice is yours, and personally, I prefer the Coin Payments method, but I mean, it's up to you guys to do whatever you guys wish to do. Okay, so in conclusion, I want to take this time to thank everybody for listening to me today. Cryptocurrency is the future of money transfer, and all of us here at Coin Payments and all the representatives here wholeheartedly stand by what we're providing for our clients. If you have any questions about what I presented today, or if you want to learn anything more about the CPS card, feel free to approach me after the conference and I'll answer any questions you have. I'd like to thank CryptoFondo for bringing us to this beautiful city, and I wish the best of luck to all of you in all your personal and professional endeavors. And and I look forward to helping all of you reach your financial goals. Muchas gracias. Good night.
So yeah, thank you again. Start off by saying thank you to Mexico City for hosting us. Special thanks to CryptoFondo for organizing this event. I'm going to share some personal stories with you guys today of my life within the digital currency realm, and then also share with you guys some cool facts about coin payments. I'm Sina. I'm one of the founders of Coin Payments. Coin Payments now is essentially the first multi-coin processor in digital currencies. We are also the largest. We offer up to 60 different currencies for you to choose and process with our service. This is my story of how I got essentially involved with digital currencies and then later on with Coin Payments. Basically, my story starts in 2013. So my story starts with Bitcoins, obviously, because that was the first coin to come out. Alex actually introduced me to Bitcoins. He came to me early of 2013 and said, hey, Sina, you got to buy this. You won't make a mistake. Basically, when he told me that, Bitcoins are trading around $26 a coin. By the time I'd actually, gathered myself and was ready to pull the trigger on the investment, Bitcoins had already reached around $50. So I missed the chance of doubling my money already. Well, it proved to be not that big of a mistake, but again, I did lose out on that opportunity. But I did get into my Bitcoin investment at around $50 a coin. Let me just show you guys the numbers. Sweet. So I did get into Bitcoins at around $50 per coin. And as Andrew had told you guys, Bitcoin reached a median price of over $1,200 per coin. I didn't stick around that long in the market, but I ended up exiting at around $900 a coin, still making exponential gains on my investment. Obviously, after that, I was really intrigued in Bitcoins and digital currencies. I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to be involved more. One of the main things everyone really wants to do is get into the mining aspect. Well, once I did my research and I realized that basically it was not really feasible for me, especially in Vancouver, in Canada where I live, to really become a miner in the network, I didn't really continue on with that. Basically, one of the biggest problems with Bitcoins right now is that they're becoming essentially centralized by the countries or the regions that have the lowest amount of electricity costs. So i.e. like Iceland is one example, China is another example where almost 99% of the Bitcoin mining goes on in those regions. This is a huge, I would say it's a negative thing or a con to Bitcoins as it poses a big threat for centralization and also price manipulation. And also, it's proving to be not very energy efficient and cost efficient to essentially mine Bitcoins. Obviously, when you think about Bitcoins, and I don't know if everyone really knows too much, but it is the first template of a purely peer-to-peer decentralized network. And what that means is there is no centralized figure overseeing these transactions. So I can send money to the other person anywhere in the world at any time, and there is no centralized figure putting delays on that transaction or transfer. With Bitcoin, it's very possible, easy to get money anywhere in the world at any time. Basically, you don't have to worry about crossing borders, you don't have to worry about bank schedules, you don't have to wait days for wires. There are no limitations on how much Bitcoins or money you want to send. You're really in full control of your own money with Bitcoin. Obviously, again, when you think of the whole thing and when I tell you about what's happening with the mining aspect, you really think the centralization of Bitcoin mining, the biggest threat to that is the price manipulation of those areas that are actually mining the Bitcoins. And then also the levels of electricity and pollution and energy that's used to essentially mine these Bitcoins are getting worse and worse. And as we're seeing, Bitcoins are proving to be not the fastest transacting coin out there within digital currencies. Again, lack of awareness and understanding is a huge thing. As we kind of found out here today, not everyone knows about Bitcoins. So that's kind of one of our jobs, is to come out, educate people, introduce people with Bitcoin, and then later on with future digital currencies. Also, another aspect is risk and volatility. Some of you might, I know I don't really like it, but it's something I've gotten used to. But a lot of people get scared when they hear that you lose 5 to 10 to 15% of your money within fluctuations. So that's another thing that will stabilize in time. But it's our job to essentially create infrastructure and develop businesses like Coin Payments and other businesses to grow the network and essentially stabilize the price. So the second coin that I want to talk to you guys about is another coin that I invested in as well. It was the second coin to ever actually come out. It was essentially the first altcoin. It was called Litecoin. I personally got involved with that coin at around $4, and then I sold it. Well, yeah. No, well, I got involved with it. Was at 4 cents, but I got involved with it at around $4. And that number is a little bit off. The peak price was around $49, but I sold my Litecoins, I remember, at above 40. So again, huge gains on my investment with Litecoin as well. And again, Litecoin was the first coin that I actually got a chance to mine with. So we were mining Litecoins with video cards at the time, which was pretty cool. It was my first opportunity to essentially mine a digital currency. One of the main reasons why Litecoin didn't surpass Bitcoin and overtake it in terms of volume or price is it didn't really offer anything too new. It was still a mined coin. The transactions were a little bit faster. The cost of transactions were a little bit slower, and but again, no real new assets or features that were too different from Bitcoin. So that's personally why I believe it didn't really take off and surpass Bitcoin. So the third coin that I want to tell you guys about is PPC, or Peer Coin. That was, again, the third digital currency to ever come out, another coin that I invested in as well. And I saw that coin, and I got into that very early. I got into that coin at around 7 cents, and I rode that wave again and took that coin to about $7, again, making like 10,000% increase on my money. Huge investment for me. It was great, but one of the reasons why, again, PPC or Peer Coin didn't really surpass Bitcoin is because it didn't really offer anything too new. So, 700 coins later, like we were discussing, there's tons of these coins out there, and at Coin Payments, we've installed and we've processed these coins over the years. A lot of them have come and go, but personally, we feel like the best is yet to come. Recently, again, there was, like Andrew was talking about, Ethereum had a great run. Another coin that did really well, that was trading at around under $2 and less than 6 months ago, was Dashcoin. Dashcoin just reached a price of over $100 per coin. And again, that margin from $2 to over $100 was just in less than 6 months. So again, I didn't personally get involved with that coin, but I know people that did, and they made very good money on that as well. So at Coin Payments, our motto is to essentially provide a safe and easy system for all people around the world to use. We want to create a secure platform for everyone to send and receive money, and again, at any currency they desire. Personally, and our motto with Coin Payments is that we believe in diversification and giving people the freedom to choose what digital currency they want to use. This will not only strengthen Bitcoin, it would also strengthen digital currencies altogether. This will also allow for creative thinking, allow for innovation to flourish with this sort of environment. Our job is to create this infrastructure so that cryptocurrencies becomes easy for the masses to essentially adopt. Coin Payments, let's see what we got here. Not again much different. Coin Payment offers all the popular shopping cart plugins available today. WooCommerce, Magento are like two of the 36 different coins we actually have, we use for our checkouts. Again, some other features that Alex touched on is our cold storage. So we do keep 80% of our users' funds offline at all times to protect for theft or hacking and stuff like that. Our other 20% is actually secured basically the same way. That 20% is in our hot wallet. But that 20% is secured by BitGo, and basically they allow funds to get instantly transacted, and they're requiring no confirmations within the Bitcoin network. So that's helped speed up transactions within Bitcoin on our system. Our multi-coin wallet is another awesome feature that personally we created for ourselves, and then we ended up realizing that it was helping out our users. So our multi-coin wallet means that if you hold a little bit of Litecoin, if you hold a little bit of Dash or Ethereum or Bitcoin, you essentially before would have to have a different wallet for each coin and send coins to, or have a different address for all those different currencies. But with our multi-coin wallet, you can essentially have one wallet, and whatever coin you do decide to use and send and receive, it just automatically filters it to that coin. So no more need to remembering all your different wallets. Our referral program, again, like Alex touched on, is one of the biggest reasons for our exponential gains over the last 2 years. So it was a really strategic move to give out that 25% back to our referral customers. You do have a chance to collect commission on that for a period of 5 years. So that again is, I personally believe that's one of the biggest reasons for Coin Payments to grow so fast. So everyone asks me, and what we're here a lot about today is to think about the next big thing and teach you guys about the next big thing that's going to come around. And after the years of being in this and seeing all the coins come and go, in my personal experience, the one coin that obviously I'm most confident about is MadeSafe. And again, why is MadeSafe so amazing? Well, MadeSafe is going to allow everyone with a home or office computer to essentially be a participant in the network and start earning passive income. And prices are like really low right now for this coin. It's hugely undervalued. So I want you guys to think of MadeSafe as the new decentralized serverless internet. That's a very easy way to understand it, I think. So MadeSafe is building the new internet, secure and independent from the spying and tracking eyes of corporations and governments, right? So what that's going to do is really secure your secure your thoughts, secure your data, and secure your information. And I believe our data is the most important thing for our evolution as human species in this world. Because yeah, obviously food, water are important, but our thoughts and our data, it will not only protect our past, but it will also help us protect and grow for our future as well. So as again, like we've been touching on it, the internet is heavily centralized, right? So a lot of corporations are owning the pipelines that connect us to the internet, right? And this makes it really easy for everyone to observe and track everything we do on the internet. Hence why we all have customized ads on our YouTube or our Facebook or our internet, right? So basically what MadeSafe will do, or what the Safe network will do, is replace the HTTP in the web browser with Safe. And essentially that will be the new internet for the people that governments don't own, corporations don't own, but essentially the people will own. The MadeSafe coin is I believe, again, the most important coin to come around since Bitcoin. This will allow for us to have freedom on our internet. And as everyone knows, our internet is basically a huge storage for our thoughts and our data. The MadeSafe coin is the coin of the internet, right? So again, I want everyone to look it up, do your own research as well, not just listen to our words. But you can go to coinpayments.net, you can buy some Bitcoins and you can convert them to MadeSafes and just join this revolution. Participate a little bit in it and see how it turns out for you as well. And you can also earn MadeSafe soon once the network launches, and essentially donate your computer at home or your office to give up a little bit of space when you're not using it, even when you're sleeping, to earn yourself some passive income. So the farming model is much different than the mining model, which is basically for all other coins. This is the first coin that is actually not really going to create much wasted electricity or pollution in terms of mining coins. So obviously, when you describe MadeSafe and when you talk about it, people get excited. But the main thing they say is, well, the governments and the corporations are not really going to like this. But it's the same thing with digital currencies and with Bitcoin. When Bitcoins came out, governments were trying to stop it and block it and not allow people to use it. But they soon realized that there's no way to actually do that. You have to find regulations around Bitcoin. And that's what's going to happen with MadeSafe as well. When the network is released, it's just something that governments and corporations are going to have to learn to work around. So again, you ask, how can you get involved today? Go to coinpayments.net, get a free account. There's no fees there. Buy yourself some Bitcoins and convert them to MadeSafes. You can also use Coin Payments affiliate link and start earning a commission for all the merchant processing fees that come under your referral link. It's a great way to make some passive income. All you have to do is send a few emails and you'll be making money essentially. We all have one or two friends that have online businesses. Send them that referral link and start collecting your commission. It doesn't come off of their end; it's coming off of our charge for that. And we only charge 0.5% for processing, whereas traditional processors are charging 2 to 3 to 4 points for that service. There's also no minimums, no withdrawal limits, or no hidden fees. Everything's there. And you can essentially take that referral payment and convert it to any other coin, i.e. like a MadeSafe coin. So again, I want to wrap up quickly and tell you guys my strategy, and I want you guys to use the same strategy: is buy in early, buy in low, and start being a farmer within the MadeSafe network. And remember, MadeSafe is going to be the new internet, right? MadeSafe coin is the coin of the new internet. So I personally believe that this is going to be the biggest revolution since the beginning of the net. So I want all you guys again to go to coinpayments.net, create a free account, and just convert a little bit of your Bitcoins into MadeSafes, and just watch the market, see how it's going to pan out for you. And again, if you have any questions, please come and talk to us after the show, after the conference here, and we'd love to have some time one-on-one to answer any other questions you guys might have. So again, thank you for your time. And before I leave, there's a MadeSafe video that you guys are going to see as well. So I don't know if I click for that.
much of your life is stored digitally? Your photos, your files, your most intimate conversations. It's all on a hard drive somewhere, and it's probably easy to access. By you, but also by the cloud storage companies you trust. Those companies have a track record of handing over their data to governments. Their first priority is to make profit for their shareholders, not your privacy. Then there's cybercrime. It has become a bigger business than the trade of illicit drugs. Due to the enormous amount of data stored on cloud servers, they are a target that's hard for hackers to resist. It's time to take security and privacy back into our own hands. Made Safe uses decentralization and encryption to ensure that only you can access your files. The SAFE network is completely distributed. There is no central point of control or weakness. The software connects unused computing capacity to form a global network that can handle all data and communications. It's not just about storage. It allows you to safely run any app that exists today, while paying you for your contribution. Here's how it works. You create an account without the need to identify yourself and decide how much space you want to dedicate to the network. As the space is used, Safe coins are given as a reward. SafeCoin has a market value and can be freely traded, just like Bitcoin. Before you upload a file, it is encrypted on your computer. It is then fragmented into small pieces and spread at random throughout the network. Data is stored with redundancy, and files are autonomously moved by the network as connected computers are turned on and off. Only you have the credentials to make it available again. Your data and your thoughts belong only to you. You decide what to do with them, no one else. Made Safe. Privacy, security, and freedom for everyone.
And again, I want to give a special thanks to Crypto Fondo. They've done a great job of organizing this event. So thank you again to Crypto Fondo.
The development of online finance often follows the demands and challenges of the market, forever changing and adapting through a process of continual development and restructuring. There are several important core elements that dictate the emerging trends in internet finance. And starting now, industrial pioneers who have observed and studied the development of internet finance are heading towards one of these trends, one that's going to shift the paradigm of the market. Introducing Centennial Coin of Prosperity, a brand new composite tool in internet finance. In addition to being a whole new financial product, it's also a game changer that will lead future trends. The creation of CCP not only alters the present market situation, it will play a pivotal role in the development of future trends. A number of new concepts in how we approach financial development have been integrated into this conceptual framework. A mutually circulated and interconnected cash flow mechanism is the cornerstone of this new financial tool. Barriers to collection and payment cycles are completely eliminated, allowing for potentially exponential asset value growth. This is an advanced value-added approach, one that leverages the core of market psychology. The exchange of digital currency will be a major portion of global internet financial transactions. The existence of virtual currencies has elevated the value of this currency exchange mechanism. The adoption of mobile apps and intelligent messaging systems transcend linguistic and cultural barriers, offering a truly international trading platform. Created with an understanding of the ever-changing financial world, CCP inspires a new level of customer faith. Having been designed around the needs of the financial industry, we give pioneers the tools they need to proceed with confidence. Centennial Coin of Prosperity. Together with those pioneers, we've taken the lead and swept away all competition. A simple yet adaptable platform for a complex, ever-changing market. Centennial Coin of Prosperity.
Okay, so I think at this point we need to summarize a little bit about what's happened so far. And usually, to be honest, I have notes that I like to stick to. So this is me challenging myself not to use any notes and to kind of go beyond that. So, to recap what Alex said, cryptocurrency is the future. Andrew said, banks, Visa cards, bad. Sina said, Alex and I got rich, cryptocurrency. That's basically the summary of what we've heard so far, right? The future, the past, some challenges that exist, and how we have an opportunity to kind of move past those. So one thing I was thinking as I was sitting there was it really sounds like we're really pushing MadeSafe like we have something to benefit from that. Nobody here has any stake in MadeSafe the way it might sound like. Like obviously coin payments, we want you to use the Visa card. We want you to use their account, of course. But for MadeSafe, that's not the case. MadeSafe is an example where you've all come here to try and learn something. Depending on how much you know, I don't know. But MadeSafe is an opportunity. Myself, I'm new to the cryptocurrency space. I didn't have a chance to make any money on any of these coins. MadeSafe for me is the first opportunity to do so. So when we present it, it's just an opportunity for us to present this tip that when you leave here, you're more than welcome to go and research and find out anything you want, anything you might be curious about with MadeSafe. I know when we were in Jakarta, we had CNN interviewing MadeSafe, as well as coin payments. Next week, I'll be in Vancouver. We have a Taiwanese magazine flying into Vancouver to interview coin payments again and learn about MadeSafe. The reason I mention those is because it's bigger. It's bigger than the four of us standing here on a stage talking about them. It's actually something that's happening. So again, welcome everybody to research that. However, where the benefit does come is because by telling more and more people about MadeSafe and helping people understand how the network works, we all benefit. Right? So that's a lot of what I do as marketing director for MCC, is to promote all of these companies and all of these businesses because we think that they benefit you. But the information is there for everybody to research. So something I also wanted to kind of back it up a little bit. I didn't see the show of hands before in terms of who had Bitcoin or who uses Bitcoin. So I'm gonna ask, if you have Bitcoin or you use Bitcoin, transact, can you put your hand up, please? Because it helps us understand the audience a little bit. Okay, so that tells a lot. And again, for myself, I was also very new to this space. And when I go to Vancouver, my friends and family have lots of questions, many of which I myself am still learning about, because it can be very simple, can also be very complicated. So one of the things people ask regarding Bitcoin, or the issues that we hear all the time, is the volatility, how much the price swings, and how do I know when to time it, and how do I know when it's not going to be crashing. And I think it's one of those things you can't know. And if you're speculating and just trying to buy and sell quickly to catch the market at the right time, it's not a strategy. But it's just like any other stock. It's just like any investment. Like Warren Buffett said, you shouldn't be doing that kind of investment anyway. So in the last 5 years, what I can say is that the volatility of Bitcoin has decreased. So maybe 5 years ago, it's about 30% on a daily basis. So daily, the price was fluctuating 30%. Now it's down to about 3-4%. So you can see how the volatility is decreasing because it's becoming more and more stable to the point that they were making. So where does that put buying Bitcoin in the wider spectrum? Well, it's kind of in between oil and Twitter. I did that research to try and find it so we can understand it a little bit better. So it's still kind of a risky investment in many ways, but it's not kind of way out there in terms of this, this weird cryptocurrency space. No, it has benchmarks that we're very familiar with. A tech company in Twitter and a resource like oil. So I just wanted to mention that. That's in terms of the volatility. Another question people have is about the safety. I was talking with a friend just the other day who is just starting to get interested in Bitcoin and MadeSafe and doing his own research, and he said, but there's all these hacks, there's all these security issues with it. I don't want to get scammed. I don't want to get my money, taken away. And that challenged me a little bit. I didn't know how to answer that question. So I researched a little bit, and one of the kind of messages that I took away was that the issue with Bitcoin, the issue with cryptocurrency, is not so much the blockchain or the Bitcoin, it's the companies in the space. It's the security of those companies, which is like the coin payments. The companies like coin payments are the ones have the problems with security. And they didn't really touch on it, but his company, Alex and Sino, their company, they're the industry leaders in that space in terms of the technology that they use to secure the investments. And that's why they have never been hacked. So I'm not going to get into that technology. You're more than welcome to ask them about that, but it's just a fact. So again, when you're reading these news stories on Bitcoin and the technology and the security, again, ask yourself, what is being hacked? Where is that happening? And how? Because then you'll see, well, it's not the technology of Bitcoin, it's the company that got hacked. So the company is the problem. So we should all be researching and understanding where we're putting our money. Okay? So I just want to touch on those two things because those are two key points. And the third point before I go on to CCP is about the future. I think if people are interested in cryptocurrency or kind of watching the news, they know that in the past month or two, there was an exchange-traded fund, an ETF, that the Winklevoss brothers from Facebook, that whole fiasco, they wanted to launch. They wanted to make Bitcoin tradable so that everybody could invest in Bitcoin. And it failed. So again, what does that mean for Bitcoin? That means that right now, maybe is not the best time for an exchange-traded fund. But that doesn't mean that it's not the way of the future. I see that news, and I think, wow, so it's becoming more and more mainstream. You have bankers, you have corporate types looking at cryptocurrency, and it's pushing it forward. So even though this attempt to kind of go mainstream, if you will, didn't succeed, I believe, and from what I read, it's going to happen. Just when everything else catches up, when the security features catch up, and some other issues that Andrew was talking about before. So again, I think the future is very much in cryptocurrency's favor, and I think we see a lot of examples of why it's moving in that direction. So moving on now, Bitcoin basically has two applications that the people use it for now. So maybe people in this room don't use Bitcoin so much, but for the person that does, they're thinking two things. They're thinking, one, I want to be able to send my money freely and securely. That's one point. And the second is privacy. And actually, that's a few points. But basically, they want to be able to send money, and they want security, and they want privacy. Okay? And then they want to speculate, right? People buy Bitcoin, and then they hope the price goes up. But there's really not that much to Bitcoin. There's really not that much that one can do with it. And that's where CCP comes in. Because CCP is an opportunity for people to invest their Bitcoin. They can put that to work for them. And so that's where the presentation that I'm going to talk about is a little bit about the investment opportunity. This should definitely not be left up here because, as we heard, it's amazing and it's very easy to use. Okay, now this is my attempt at this clicker. If you have Bitcoin and you're sending it, I'm in Canada, I'm sending it to Mexico, happens quickly, fantastic. If you're like Sina or Alex, you've used Bitcoin, you've bought it at a certain price, it's increased, fantastic. But the question is, why do we have to limit it like that? Why can't we use the Bitcoin for more? And that's what CCP is. So what CCP is a platform. That's all it is, essentially. And it's an opportunity for investors to use their Bitcoin to put it to work for them. Like I said, I'm kind of hoping that diagram pops up soon because you need to see the kind of the ecosystem, the way it works. But simply put, when you invest in CCP, it's a network of peers, okay? So when an investment is made, first part, security. As we just mentioned before, the security is really, really important. People need to know where their money is and how we use it. So that's why there's a partnership or a synergy with Coin Payments. There's usually a diagram right here with Coin Payments on it. With Coin Payments, because Coin Payments is the industry leader in this. So when people make an investment in CCP, it's secured by CPS. That's where the funds are held. So the investors can be confident, first and foremost, that their investment is being held in a secure place. Second part, transparency. There is no middleman to CCP. It's all about the network. So when somebody makes an investment, you're essentially buying stocks or shares. Those stocks or shares belong to somebody else. So it's all between the network, and it's not going through a middleman. So there's no risk for a company to run away or anything that one might have heard of before. It's just a network of peers, and so it's transparent. We always know how transactions happen. And simplicity. As you'll see in the slides to come, it's very, very simple. All right. So, synergy. How do we break this down? So the first part is the platform. It's a platform of peers, okay? Beyond that, we have this investment opportunity where investors can use their Bitcoin and make it work for them. Fantastic. The second part is the hedge fund, and this is why I'm thinking for you, this is different than other investment opportunities. So what we believe is that, as they were mentioning, there's so many different cryptocurrencies on the market today, but some of them are undervalued, and we believe that MadeSafe is one of them that is extremely undervalued. So what we do is we take a portion of the investment that somebody makes in CCP, and we invest it into MadeSafe. So if you have a technology that is revolutionary, that we think is going to be huge one day, and you invest when it's in 6 cents, 7 cents, and it grows to the point, like Bitcoin, $1,200 today, the opportunity and the return for all of its investors is obviously huge. And so that's what we are starting with MadeSafe, and we want to add other cryptocurrencies as we identify them. So a portion of all the investors' investment is invested in MadeSafe, and you all see that in your wallet, as I'll show you in the next slide. So you see your investment of MadeSafe as well as CCP. Okay? Third, marketing. This is essentially my job when I go around and I talk, because people don't know. People don't know anything about MadeSafe. They don't know much about Bitcoin sometimes. They don't understand how this works. So we travel and we talk about MadeSafe. We explain how the network works. We explain the benefits of it, and we explain the returns that people can make with this investment. So the marketing really helps MadeSafe, because it's a technology, right? It needs funding and it needs users. So by explaining to people, and people say, hey, that makes sense. I like that. And then when they invest in MadeSafe, the value of MadeSafe increases. So it's a circle. And then you as an investor, in part number one there, you're benefiting as well, because you already believe in MadeSafe, you understand how it works, and you're holding shares. Do you understand? So again, to go back to the beginning, people invest in CCP. A portion of that investment goes into the hedge fund, which is MadeSafe. We travel, we really promote, whether it's on CNN or any popular media, talking about MadeSafe and the value of the network and the technology behind it. And then as the price of the coin increases, we all benefit from that, right? People beyond this room, they can also invest in MadeSafe. That doesn't matter. But by investing in CCP, you're also getting a return on your Bitcoin as well, whereas they're all just waiting for the value of MadeSafe to increase. So you're thinking, okay, I think I get it, I think I don't get it. So let's look at the next part here. Everything starts, just like buying Bitcoin right now, you have to buy it from somewhere, right? And so that's the first part there, local exchange. You need to have Bitcoin somehow, okay? So let's assume you have your Bitcoin in your hand and you say, great, I'd like to make it work for me. I'd like to put it to use, aside from just speculating or sending it. You put it in your Coin Payments wallet. Again, why Coin Payments? Why do we choose that company? Because it's safe. It's proven track record for security. So now it's in Coin Payments. That's number one. Number two, SendSeed. As I believe it was Sina, or Alex, I can't remember, they mentioned CCP uses a farming metaphor, just because it helps it make it a little bit easier, but we can interchange the names with kind of more traditional terminology. So from Coin Payments, you send your Bitcoin into the CCP site. But again, the funds are still held in Coin Payments. This is just the platform that we see in CCP. So you now have your principal, which we call SendSeed, again, that farming metaphor. So let's say it's $120 or whatnot. You've invested into CCP. You get SendSeed. And I'm going to walk over here because it's just easier for me to show. So this SendSeed is your principal. And like I mentioned, a portion goes to MadeSafe, and a portion buys you the shares, which is what we call Centcoin. So Centcoin is just a token. It's just, again, it's a term that we use, but it's not actually like SendSeed. It's just a token. This is your shares, and the shares appreciate, right? At various rates, like it's a market. So your shares increase or decrease, whatever it might be. And when you want to sell, we call it send fruit. And that's just your dividends. So it's like any other stock. You buy your stock, you take your principal, invest in stock, sell your stock, get your money, right? It's the exact same idea, just with Bitcoin. So when you have your send fruit and you sell, it goes right back in your Coin Payments wallet, right? A portion of your investment, though, gets reinvested. And the reason that that happens is because we want to make sure that people who invest aren't trying to kind of flip, kind of move money too quick. The idea of this is to develop a network that's sustainable, so people get sustainable returns for their investment. So this goes right back into your wallet, so it goes right back in the ecosystem, and then you can sell it again in the future. Again, the idea being we don't want people to put their money in, take it out, and then run away. The idea is to make it a little bit slower and a little bit longer. So now your money is back in your Coin Payments wallet. You have a choice. You can either reinvest, or you can use their Visa card, for example, take the money out. Alex didn't really mention it before, but Bitcoin is fully transferable. So even though in the system it's not Bitcoin, it's Centcoin, once it goes back into your wallet, it's Bitcoin again. So essentially, you have three investments. You have your Bitcoin that you've invested, it grows, you hold MadeSafe, that's the second investment, and Centcoin. So you have actually three investments. And when you sell, it goes back to Bitcoin, that you can do whatever you want. You can convert it to pesos, you can put it into US dollars, you can buy MadeSafe, you can do whatever you want. Okay? So I'm going to go to the third slide, and I'll go over this side of the room, and it'll be a little bit more detail. Okay. So again, you have Bitcoin, you like having Bitcoin, you've heard a lot about it, but Bitcoin, all you can do is transfer somewhere to somebody else, safely and securely, or you can speculate. There's just two things you can do with it. CCP came along because we thought there should be more you can do. You should be able to put your Bitcoin to work for you. So how do we do that? We created a platform of peers. There again, there's no middleman, there's nobody in between. So let's say you've gone to your local exchange or however you've done it, and you've said, I want to buy Bitcoin. So you buy that Bitcoin with your pesos or whatnot, and now it's sitting in your Coin Payments wallet, just like MadeSafe or anything else. You have a CCP account. When you open your account, it's going to ask you to invest, right? So when you invest, that money moves into the CCP platform. This is just your principal, easiest way to look at it. So your principal is here. CCP takes 20% and invested in MadeSafe. Why MadeSafe? Again, that's what we were talking about and why we think it's such a good investment. Because we think we can all benefit by investing it. So we take 20%. Of that 20%, this is how it's used. People want to know, so why, what did you do with my 20%? What happened to it? Well, a quarter of it you see in your wallet. In your wallet, so it's there to see. Another quarter of it is invested daily in MadeSafe to support the value of the MadeSafe coin. Because again, it's a market, right? If you're looking at stocks and whatnot, you want to see the stock that you own is either stable or it's increasing. So we need to support the value of SafeCoin. The third quarter is pooled every 30 days. So again, we take the funds from people from around the world, whether it's Japan or it's China or Mexico, and we use that to support SafeCoin on a monthly basis. Because people that aren't investing regularly, they're watching, right? I've spent so much time traveling, and these tech guys, they're watching all the time to see what kind of update is it coming from MadeSafe, or what's the price doing. So we want to make sure that people are confident in that, and we can do that by supporting the price of MadeSafe. And finally, the last quarter is rolled over. So if there's extra funds that haven't been spent at the end of the month, we put them back into MadeSafe. Okay, so that's the 20% that goes into supporting MadeSafe. So now you have 80% left of your initial investment, of your principal. That goes to Centcoin. So the Centcoin is your stock. And the simplest part of it, your stock appreciates and you want to sell. So as the stock appreciates, you have the choice to sell, and it goes right back into your wallet, right? So the key point to note here is that the system limits the profit that you can make. Now that sounds scary, but the number is actually quite large. So the investment that you made, that let's say it was $100, you can make a maximum of $500 before the system says, okay, you need to reinvest. And the reason it does that is because if somebody started investing in September or October of last year, and they just can continue on that initial investment to continue to make returns, that's not necessarily fair. So in order to make it fair for everybody that invests, they limit it to 5 times. And at that point, the system will say, okay, time to reinvest another $100 or whatever the investment might be. So it's very transparent, it's very open. That's why they do that. So I'm not going to talk about the decentralized commission, but it's kind of similar to the CPS wallet, I think. I kind of made that up on the spot. But if you refer other people, there's a benefit. There's an added benefit. So I'm not going to get into that here because that's a whole nother level. But again, it's one of those things, if you share MadeSafe, you share CCP with others, there's an added benefit, which makes sense like any other business. So going back here, so let's say you've decided, okay, you know what? I've made a couple $100. I want to sell. Fantastic. You can sell that, but they take 30% and they reinvest it. So it forces you to buy shares that, again, you hold just so the system slows down, because people get very excited when they're making the money. They want to sell, sell, sell. But that's not necessarily good for a system, for an investment, right? If it goes too hot, too fast, it's just not good. So that allows us to control it a little bit, keep things at a nice sustainable rate, and then the difference goes back into your coin payments wallet, which is 60%. From there, again, it's Bitcoin, so it came in as Bitcoin, and it goes out of Bitcoin as well. And then it's in your wallet, and you can convert it to USD, or use your Visa card, or whatever you might like. Okay, so that is basically, in short, CCP. And what we're so excited about it and why we've been so successful the last, I think, 8 months is because even though I think in this room right now, if you don't have Bitcoin, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. For us, or those that use Bitcoin, that send it, it's finally a chance to make money from Bitcoin instead of just speculating on its value. So it just provides another asset that people have to make money. So Bitcoin is anonymous. That's fantastic. You have a Visa card with coin payments that you can use to withdraw your investment. People in China, I spent a lot of time in China. And so people are really concerned about the government, taxes, sending money. There's limitations to how much you can sell or how much you can move money. But coin payments, like for example, if you have Bitcoin, you bought Bitcoins in China, great. You invested in CCP, great. You get your returns back into your coin payments wallet, and now you have a Visa card. And you can travel anywhere you want, and you can use that Visa card, and the government has no idea what you're doing. So I use that as an example, because I don't understand Mexico so well. But I know in that situation, in that climate, in that economy, it's very, very attractive. Or they give the card to their kid who lives in Vancouver, which I'm also from, and it's even easier for them to move money, to send money. So this is CCP. If you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, I definitely suggest that you, for all the reasons we've mentioned so far, take a look. Because as I started this whole conversation, it's about freedom. We should have the right to go on the internet without having people sell our information. We should have the freedom and the convenience to spend money how we want. And in terms of investment, if you have Bitcoin, if you're already sold on it and cryptocurrency excites you, then we should be able to use it in creative ways that allow us to make more money. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out why we're so excited about this. And finally, MadeSafe. I wanted to close just by one more time emphasizing the technology, because I talk a lot about MadeSafe, I talk a lot about coin payments, I talk a lot about CCP. If this entire room was a network, right? Traditionally, if I want to send a picture to my friend here in the front row, Merry Christmas, right? That card, that picture, goes through the server here, and then it goes over here. If it's just a Christmas card or just a picture, no problem. But we all know that the internet and information, sometimes it's sensitive, right? So what if we could take this middle person out of the way? And each of us had a phone or a computer that we just turned on at nighttime before we went to bed. So now when I send this picture, that picture is cut up into a million pieces, and everybody in this room has a piece. And when I want to look at that picture in the future, or I want to send it, he has the key and I have a key. We're the only people to have that. So if I'm sending it to him, he pulls it together on his computer. Or if he's sending me something, I pull it together on my computer. If you're a hacker, where do you go? Right? Because that picture is everywhere. It's not in the server. If I'm a hacker and I want to find information, I go right here. It's really easy. Right? The flip side, or the additional benefit that Alex said, is that now, because we all said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm happy to be part of the network. When you wake up in the morning after having your app on your phone on, you have a currency, you have a token, you have a coin, something that you can use. And you can use that to, I don't know if, in the future you can imagine Nike and all these big companies, they have they're on the Safe Network as well. You have the New York Times, if you want to read an article, it's just automatically, you read an article, you pay with like 0.0001 Safecoin, right? So it's a big stretch to kind of imagine that kind of world, but at the same time, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's really, really simple. And that's why we've chosen it as our first fund that we want to invest in, because we want to make sure that our investors get great return. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should say. Okay. Was that? Okay, well, I thought I touched on that. So CCP, again, when I said there's no middleman, again, to the same point, the funds are all decentralized. So when I talk about the stocks and the shares, or in this case, the Centcoin, when I buy something, I buy directly from somebody else who's selling. So it's not sitting in anybody else's hands. So the funds are distributed, decentralized among the network. That's something people kind of wonder, like, well, okay, so if I'm buying something, where's the money going? Who holds that money? Nobody holds that. It's held amongst the network. When somebody sells something, I can buy something. Second question people ask is, okay, well, what happens if things stop, or the shares don't increase, or something goes wrong? Well, that's another reason why we've invested in MadeSafe. We've started investing in MadeSafe when it was 6 cents. It's 17 cents now. So if you look at the pool of investment that we've been able to allocate to MadeSafe, it's a huge safety net. So if at some point, if for whatever reason something happens, we have the assets that are available to be able to compensate individuals who didn't make their money back. So again, it's a security, it's a safety feature, and it's all open. There's nothing kind of secretive behind this. But there's a number of reasons why we chose MadeSafe. The primary reason being it's undervalued, amazing technology that I think, he said end of the year, we will all start to hear more about. And a lot of it will probably be negative. Sometimes governments, I'm just going to add this because it's so relevant to what we're talking about right now. You know, you flip on the news, it's always terrorist attacks, bad things happening, and governments always frame it like we need more information. We need more access to your information. It makes sense. I get it. And I kind of agree. But this network, I think, is a solution to a lot of the problems we have, and it's an evolution. I think Andrew again said, this is the future. And the MadeSafe guys said, look, if Henry Ford had just said, okay, well, I'm going to develop this car, but people are going to get hit by it, you know, more people are going to die because of my car, I shouldn't build a car. It doesn't make sense, right? It's all about future and evolution and adaptation. So 3 challenges. Number 1, if you don't understand cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, start just keep your ears open and research a little bit. I mentioned the part about security and safety. Think what's going on here. Is it the company or is it the actual Bitcoin that's a problem? That's the first thing. Second thing, don't just wait to hear about Safe or the MadeSafe network, because you're not going to hear about it right now. But Google it, look it up online, and read a little bit about it. There's a lot of YouTube videos that you can see. Research that. And then if you start getting interested in Bitcoin, consider CCP, because it's an amazing opportunity to take that Bitcoin and put it to work for you. It's private, it's secure, and it's anonymous. I think it's all the benefits of cryptocurrency apply to CCP. So thank you everybody so much for your time. I'm going to pass it over to our lovely MC. And again, we have our team here at the end. If people want to have some specific questions, more than welcome to come. Thank you so much. Good night.